Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network. She is an animal communicator. Yes, she can communicate with animals. She can understand what they're thinking and vice versa. I know that sounds a little out there, and I thought the same thing. Gonna be honest, was skeptical until she gave me info on my pets, and it was spot on. And then she shared stories of animals that she's worked with, some of them in shelters, and even knew what was physically wrong with them before the veterinarian. How do you do that? You communicate with animals. Holly Starr is with us today. How you doing?
Enjoying the holiday season and getting into everything, so I'm good.
Well, all right. With a name like Holly, you should be enjoying the holiday season.
Yes.
Right? It's been a while. It's been a while since we got together, and last couple of times you shared some stories of animals that you communicated with, and doing so supported their journey through shelters, and then when they were fostered, etc. It looks like you have another story for us today.
Yes. So this story is a little bit different than the other ones. I never knew this dog named Floki in person during his physical life. So I have only known him through his afterlife, and he is extremely active, and he's trying to get our society to understand that we have to focus on love and gratitude and showing others compassion in life, or else we're going to continue going down some roads of cruelty and hate. So he is wanting to get his story out there about being a breeder dog at a puppy mill, the abuse that he went through, and then the healing process that he went through, and using that as an example of when you have love in your life, you can heal. We can do all sorts of miraculous things in life. And from his perspective, this goes into not only puppy mills and that issue, but the human trafficking issue, the drug issue, the political issues, everywhere that we find tension and stress and hate in our society. He's like, if we increase the love, if we increase the compassion for each other, we can have such a better world around us and improve all of our lives and get rid of the horrible way that we are treating each other, animals and humans alike. So I am going to go ahead and share my screen here. So this is Floki, and his story has already been turned into a book. Jason Purcell is his adoptive dad, and this is the book that he wrote while Floki was still alive to help us understand Floki's past story and his healing journey as well. So you can find this on Amazon. We are going to dive into his story, though, as well here. All right. So a little bit of a trigger warning with Floki. You can see he's in poor condition. And so there are a couple of pictures that are a little bit harder to look at here. But know that he does heal. He is okay. All right, so this is the actual like pet finder application that Jason and his wife Paula saw one day. They were actually on Pet Finder helping a friend search for a new pet, and they came across Floki here and just immediately fell in love and were like, we're gonna go get this guy. He needs love, he needs healing, and we are the ones to do that for him. Okay, so this is them. This is again how he looks as they met him. These are scars that he had received at the puppy mill. This is explained further in the book, and the book is actually written from Floki's perspective. So in physical life, Jason was able to sit down at the computer and write out and allow Floki to write through Jason. So he was free writing and allowing Floki's messages to come through him. So this whole book was written through animal communication, which is insanely awesome. So wow. These scars are described more in the book, but this gives you an understanding of how deep Floki's abuse went. And he was at the puppy mill for a very, very long time throughout his life as a breeder dog. This is a picture of Floki's eyes. And once they got Floki home, they started on a journey through vet visits. And one of those vet visits was a optometrist. And looking into his eyes, they realized that both of his eyes had been stabbed with an object at some point in time, and he was completely blind. So they worked through that with him as well. And this is Floki with his sister, Hannah, and Hannah lived with Jason and Paula to begin with as well. So Hannah was very much part of Floki's healing journey as well. Just having that sister, she really taught him how to be a normal dog, a dog that lives in a house and is loved by your family and all of those things. So Hannah is very much part of this journey as well. And she continues, she is in the afterlife as well now. And she continues to be part of his journey too. They kind of work hand in hand together.
I want to tell you, Holly,
go ahead.
Looking at Floki, from the moment I saw the cover of the book, and then the second picture, I've been told I'm intuitive. I push that away, but I've honed in on energy in the last number of years. And there is something about that dog. Like even the look on his face, if I were to see it, I would be sucked into it and almost say, it's almost as if he's saying, you want to adopt me. I'm good for you. You'll go, I know I am. There's something there, and I can't put my finger on it.
Steve, you are absolutely right, and I'm so glad you communicated that feeling that you were having, because this is what Floki does to people. He draws you in. He draws everybody in, and that is part of the way that he works. And once he draws you in, you'll start to see him come up in your own life. And I'll talk about that coming into my life as well. But he works with tons and tons of people. Anybody who interacts with him, he is like on it in your life, trying to help move you forward in acts of love. And it's just phenomenal.
And you know what?
Okay,
like if I were to see a dog like that, honestly, I'm going to be very transparent here. Always am. I would say, he's got health issues. I don't want to deal with that. I got enough going on. I don't know if I can take that on. I wouldn't say that with him.
Yeah.
Whatever's going on there, I wouldn't say that. I'd be like, yeah, no problem. And I don't even know his story. So it's a picture. Crazy.
Yes. I love it. Yep. That's him. So these guys grew old together. This is Hannah and Floki. You can see, Floki here got all of his fur. He is doing great in his later life. And surprisingly, it did not take him a huge amount of time to heal. He went through that process really fast. Once he was given love to thrive physically, I mean, he is a very, very strong mental health kind of guy. And so he was there. He was ready to heal, and that's what he did. Oh, there we go. Okay.
I don't know if we're going to hear the audio from that.
Okay.
Through Zoom. Nope, we do.
Are you hearing it? Okay, good. Whoops.
Hi. Hi. Hi, Float. I'm right here. Good boy. Good boy.
This is just an example of his personality. So he is blind, years of abuse. He's given love. He's given a chance to heal. And now he's just a normal dog. He just is prancing around when his daddy comes home, just absolute example of what he's trying to show all of us. You give each other love, you give each other compassion, and this is the outcome, all positive things. Okay, and again, this is him with his book there.
Love the sweater.
Yes. All right, so Floki did transition into spirit a few years ago, and now I want to talk about how he tends to communicate with people from the afterlife. So you can see right here in the sky picture, Floki's coming through. He always comes through the clouds and nature and all of that. Just a few examples right here. You can see his fur wisping back. And here we have Floki's orb. And then up here, we have his doggy cloud as well. And there's so many, tons and tons. If you go to Floki's Army on Facebook, you'll see tons of examples of his cloud, face hellos and his orbs and everything. Now, Floki passed prior to Hannah's passing. And so this is Hannah with Floki's orb right next to her on a walk. They did this often as well. And again, Floki's orb right down there next to Hannah. And his orb was actually caught on video as well. Here we go. So right here we have the orb starting to come in. And Jason just follows it around in this video, but this is just Floki loves Hannah, and they have experiences together. Okay.
What did he eventually pass from? Was it just age?
He eventually passed from, I don't remember the actual diagnosis, but it had to do, I believe, with his lungs and stuff like that. It's okay. He was having trouble like with coughs and things like that. Gotcha. I would have to have Jason remind me of the exact thing. But
how long did he live? How old was he when he passed?
He was around 17, something around there.
Wow. So he was up there. He was up there in age.
He was up there. Wow. He went many years in the abusive situation at the rescue, and couldn't be bred anymore. So they, dumped him. And he came to Jason and Paula at quite an old age and spent only a few years with them. Wow. So even in just those few short years, it's like the impact he has made and the amount of lives that he has touched is just crazy.
So how did you connect with him and Jason? Yeah.
So last spring, I was offering just some quick readings through Facebook on transitioned pets. And Jason asked for a reading with him. So I did that with him. And then, like I said, once you interact with Floki, he is in your life and he starts doing things. And that brings us to this next photo as well. So in the book, when you read it, you'll learn that within the puppy mill, Floki was known as ST5. ST5. That was his name. That was his like number to the people that that had him there. And so I had read the book. I had communicated with Floki prior to the book, and then time came to actually do this podcast, and I had some reservations. I'll be transparent, and I second thought after I said yes and stuff like that, and then I got the email of you're doing the podcast, and so I circled here. Right there on the subject line of the email said ST5, congratulations on your upcoming podcast. And I was like, oh my God, Floki. And I assume that
wow.
I don't know why ST5 is on there. I don't know if that has to do with your name.
I think it means, and I could be wrong because I'm not seeing the full email, but I think it means Studio 5. We have different studio channels where we do podcasts. 5. I think that's it.
Okay. Okay, yeah. But I knew that there had to be some type of technical reason why that would be on there.
And you know what? Even Holly, even if there wasn't a reason, that's crazy. like what are the chances it's not like it's a certain word, like victory, blah, 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 blah. No, it's a very specific combination of letters and a number. And wow. I don't want to run out of time, but I want you to share examples of your communication with him and maybe some of the validation from that.
Yeah. Oh man. So Floki is what I tend to call like an explorer of the universe. He's on missions. He is doing stuff all the time. So he and his dad is extremely intuitive, and some of the things that he has experienced have just been incredible. Like I said, I've only communicated with Floki the one time back in the spring, and he talked to me about telling Jason to keep going. The ideas that Jason has in his mind about their mission together, that he needs to keep going with that. And through the course of time, Jason has realized that Floki is talking about turning their story into a movie. And so we are actually working on that right now. So Floki, a lot of his messaging with me was about supporting his dad and keeping him moving forward in their mission together. Even though Floki is not here physically anymore, he still wants his dad moving forward in this this whole process, because it is a process. It's not going to happen overnight, unfortunately. But continuing to get his messages out there. And Floki, Jason has a friend overseas in the UK, and Floki speaks through her a lot of times as well. So there have been various spiritual experiences that Jason will have happen to him, and then his friend will get in touch with him and say, hey, Floki said this, and it will match that spiritual experience that Jason had.
Wow.
So it's all a very kind of surreal experience. But yeah, Floki moves mountains.
Wow.
And he's trying to move a big one right now.
Well, it's interesting that you connected on the level that you did, and it was just you were offering some readings, and then they showed up, on Facebook, and then of course the ST5 thing, crazy.
Yeah.
But there's there's something with this dog. And what do you see for the future with Floki's influence on everybody?
I see it just as the way he's saying it. He describes it as everybody is going to, and Jason received this message from him just a few days ago, actually. And I think it was in preparation for this show, him sharing this. He describes it as everybody having their own interest area. We have such tension and hate throughout so many variables in life, and we each have our own interest areas. So animals, kids, crime, politics, social justice, human trafficking, all of the many areas out there. And as Floki's message gets to the correct people in all of those areas, we can start to see more of that compassion, more of that love being taught and focused on in each of those individual areas. So then as a society across the board, we can actually come together and be on the same page and have the right people sending out those messages of compassion and teaching in those ways. And,
I think in music, because I've played music on the radio since I was a kid, like literally, and still do. Won't tell you how many decades, but whatever. And music downloads in my head. And what came to me was a song that came out in the mid-'70s, and it was called Let Your Love Flow. Big hit. I think it was number 1. Flows 2. And right there, I got Floki. Let your love Floki.
Yep.
And that's kind of what Floki's message is for the rest of us.
Yes. You're going to have to look that song up for the movie. See what it sounds like. See if we could use it in the movie.
Yeah, I got chills. That's really weird. Like,
as soon as you said "wow," I was like,
wow. There are no coincidences anywhere, and just the 5 seconds here. The lyrics. There's a reason for the sun shining sky, and there's a reason why I'm feeling so high. Must be the season when the love light shines all around us. And then it goes to the chorus. Just let your love flow like a mountain stream, and let your love grow with the smallest of dreams. And it goes on and on and on. Check it out. It's the Bellamy Brothers.
That's awesome.
It was their only hit, and it was huge. It was top 5. And that's kind of what the message is on the song. Let your love Floki.
Yes.
Wow.
Absolutely. Cool. And that's, if you look at some of Floki's pictures, like that last one that I had up on the screen, actually, the sun is always shining on Floki. And he comes through in those bright blue with the puffy cloud kind of days. And it's, I love that. I'm so glad that, we know that he told you about that song.
I don't doubt it for a second. It just dropped. And then as soon as you said something movie and song, I'm not kidding. I'm like, whoa, I got cold. Oh.
Yes. Yes.
And I can see that song playing. I wish I could play it for you right now. It would take too long to just, But go listen to it. I promise you.
Will.
I promise you, you're going to feel that Floki vibe. I'm not even kidding, because it's playing in my head right now. Wow. Let's tell everybody this is what you do. Communicating with animals, interpreting what they're saying, what they're trying to communicate. How do we find you? And if somebody has a question about all this, I know it's a little deep and woo-woo for some until you experience it. Is that free consult? Somebody has questions.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I'm constantly, I'm on, if they go to YouTube and check out Real Time, REEL, Real Time Animal Rescue, they'll find my playlist on there. And there's lots of information that I'm sharing with people on there as well. And starting to share all of these stories, and they can see kind of the bigger picture, the whole journey that animals are taking through this. They can also find me on Facebook, Holly Starr, Animal Communicator.
Awesome. And your website too.
Yes,
your
my website.
Yeah.
It's hollyjoystarr.com.
2
And
R's.
Starr with 2 R's.
2 R's. Okay, you got
2
it.
R's.
Thank you for today, Holly, and thank you for sharing Floki's story. Let it inspire and let your love flow. All right. Somewhere
let your love flow. I love it.
Somewhere along the way, we'll connect again. I know we will.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes, I'm
All right.
sure. You take care.
You too. We'll be right back. Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.